Thank you all for jumping in, and thank you, Chris, for all your help in getting this set up. This is part of a video hosting switch initiative that we started towards the end of last year. And in case in case no one was aware, we used to host our videos primarily on a platform called Vidyard, and it was great, but due to adjustments to budget and yada yada, we in talking with Cody and his awesome input, uh, we came to a conclusion together that maybe we need to move towards a platform that's accessible, that is dynamic, it's SEO friendly, and most importantly, is free. So, come on in. Hey there. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program. Sorry. Um, so, I think that if anybody's been here a while, I've been with PR and marketing for about 11 years now. Um, there may have been some questions early on, like, you know, should people go and create their own YouTube channels? One of the one of the caveats with all of this is we want to be very careful with our approach on YouTube and handling it uh, properly. And what I mean by that is we don't want to water down the brand. And so there's a lot of folks here who do a lot of great things at the university. One of the one of the things that cropped up long time ago was that folks were going around making their own YouTube channels, and it just really got busy out there. And going to get resources and content from the university was kind of getting, just as I mentioned, watered down. So the approach to this that I wanted to take was to lean into the fact that we have how many colleges at this university? How many communicators? We've got a lot of key communicators here that represent key areas of the university. Like Kenya King is the director of communications at Perimeter. Rachel Briggs, student engagement. And everybody's got like a team and a unit. And I'm wanting to have folks approach this holistically, where we've got big umbrellas, and within that we've got little buckets. And if you have, like, let's just use student engagement for example. I know they've got a lot of groups underneath them. Instead of having all those groups going and making their own YouTube channel, put it all under student engagement, and then break up your playlist in a way that makes all of your areas approachable and easy to understand. So that all being said, I'm just trying to give some context as to the thinking behind why we're approaching it this way. Because to migrate from Vidyard for PR and marketing for video content for the entire university to YouTube, it was kind of in lockstep because we were already doing YouTube, but to move over to it entirely made us really think about how and why we were doing what we were doing. So as we charted this journey into the unknown, we had to sit down and think, and I put together a channel guide, basically documenting my thought process and reasoning when we were implementing the changes at our own GSU YouTube channel. So I wanted to kind of go over today um, the switch over to YouTube, this overview of a channel guide that Chris, I don't know if it's live now or it will be soon on the user voice article. It will be a resource that you guys can check and reference. Oh, let me let in Terry. Hey Terry, welcome to the party. Just to get you caught up, we're gently going over YouTube and YouTube best practices. I'm going to give you an example of our YouTube channel as it is now, kind of how we want people to go about managing their YouTube channels, and then if you have any questions. So we'll dive right on in. A lot of this is standard boilerplate language whenever you journey into an endeavor like this on a platform. What is your purpose? And what's great is YouTube has the capability for internal and external video hosting solutions. I'll get into that in a little bit, but that gives you a lot of flexibility to host fun, exciting videos that you want the world to see, but it also gives you the chance to do internal how-to videos, messages from the dean, yada yada, that you may not necessarily want the world to see, but you want maybe an internal audience to see, get it on a website, but then not have to like upload a native file to WordPress or anything like that. You can take an unlisted video on YouTube, take that link, plop it into WordPress, super easy. You don't have to do any of that coding boxes like you were doing in Vidyard before. So it makes it a lot more friendly of an experience to play with. Um, I don't need to tell you that our main goal is to show our excellence, diversity, and thought leadership. But do want to say that a lot of people were pinging me saying, well, how should we categorize the content we're making? Well, look to the university strategic pillars. These just four main pillars of our university are driving factors behind a lot of what we do on a day-to-day with PR and marketing. If it has to do with student success, we're on it. Research innovation, we're on it. Community impact, we're on it. Global protection, we're on it. So each one of those little areas can apply to your specific area. And just think about how you uniquely build that here at the university. We want to align with the main channel. I'm going to just pull ours up as a link so you can see it as a point of reference here. And you can see we've got a For You, which the algorithm automatically picks depending on, we've got a featured, campus tour, student success, athletics, research, campus life, graduation. We have some older podcasts, but it's still good research information, as well as some featured channels and shorts. At any point, if I'm feeling like I might be getting in the weeds or somebody's got a question, do feel free to like pipe up or something. How we doing? You feeling like we're making progress good so far, Chris? Okay. Excellent. So, and feel free to, this will be made available to y'all to check out. Definitely use branded assets. Don't go willy-nilly. Look for inspiration from our main channel. And then if you're going to include fonts for your thumbnails or fonts in the videos, really, the digital team here, and major kudos to everybody who's made this so accessible and formatted in a way that's easy to navigate. We have everything really outlined in the communication kit that's available to the university. Waiting on the internet real quick. But on that site, I'm gonna keep checking out. Let me know if you haven't noticed, the Wi-Fi downtown since the snowstorm has been a little wackadoo. So uh,
Snowstorm this year or
was
5 years ago?
what was the snow last week? Did it? Oh my God, it's been a blur. It's been a long January. Um, it's
Rough year.
it's been a rough year. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So if you just go over to the design tab and you look at typography and color, and we believe in you. Come on, when it loads. But this is just as a communicator, I know that communicators might be considered communicators, but I feel like there's so many hats worn when it comes to being key doers here. You're creative, you could be web dev, you could be writer, you could be artist, all this sort of stuff. Think critically about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how can it align to the brand. And then look at typography and color as a resource. And when this page loads, or check it out on your own, you'll see that we have the color palette, your basic hex codes, friendly fonts. We have some higher end fonts listed there, but I think there's a good amount of open fonts because we do want to make sure that font transparency and accessibility is key when you're making things, just so no one's having to pay weird licensing fees, and then it's able to be used in print, digital, and any other format and web. Um, Another thing on top of using branded assets and making sure that it's visually aligned with the university. Because the worst thing is if people go to your they go to your site or they go to your YouTube and it doesn't look like it's from the Georgia State family, we're not doing a good job. So we got to make sure that we're cut from the same patchwork quilt. That's Georgia State. Uh,
I have a question for you.
yes.
I know the answer to it, but I want them to think about it and find out the answer from you. Can we use the panther head on our for our logo or to associate ourselves with GSU?
No, no. That's a resounding no. I was gonna wait and see if someone was gonna answer, but I thought I'd go ahead and answer for everybody. Do not just go willy-nilly.
That's the athletic association.
Yes.
Yes.
In case no one knows, that actually needs to be in a pop quiz. Oh, so maybe y'all will be in the know, but if that does show up at the summit, y'all have some inside baseball on that. Uh, the thing is, that is definitely the athletic word, logo, and there's a lot of red tape around that. And also, if you go to do something and you're not sure, send us a ping. We'll take 2 minutes to look at it and be like, hey, it's great, or oh, let's switch gears a little bit. We try to be here to support y'all. Um, Next step, very important, naming and consistent naming and descriptions. As some of y'all may know, naming conventions are key to success with what you're doing in the workplace. And so make sure you're naming your channel, your playlist very clearly. And so at a glance, people immediately know. So, oh, good, typography and color showed up. Yay. And y'all can see what it works right and what works wrong, as well as some additional fonts there. But you can see Georgia State University is very straightforward. And we also incorporate an introductory language. We're showing people who we are. We also have links to wherever we are on other platforms as well. So we make it super accessible. And then as you can see from the thumbnails even, we incorporate typography, dynamic frames, because if you've ever created content for YouTube before, it is a madhouse and a unique journey into itself with thumbnail development, because there are even creators out there who will change their thumbnails out like every quarter. Same content, same videos or whatever, but they change the thumbnails out to keep it fresh. So we try to keep on tabs with that as well, like making the Georgia State Stadium, some of these updates before and afters, things like that. So it's good to it's always good with any platform, but particularly with YouTube, to do a health check. Like every quarter is part of like that housekeeping, to work with, if it's you or if it's you and your team or you and a small team, make time to do that. And it doesn't have to be long, but it could be like an hour or two, every 3 months or so, just to have that like reality check of content that's doing well, content that's not doing well. How are we weeding our garden, so to speak?
And you learn things within those
Yes, you do.
times too. You see other people, how other colleges or other groups have done theirs. It might give you ideas for, oh, that would be a much better thumbnail or a way to bring that.
Absolutely. Like we were thinking about that with our playlist that we've been developing. We didn't, I mean, we kind of did some basic stuff, but it was only through moments of reflection and some research that we thought, oh wow, this is what Alabama's doing. And at the end of the day, they put their pants on like we do. There's nothing super special about anybody else.
They put the pants on their head first. That was
Not to diss too many. If you're an Alabama fan, God bless you. I'm not that much into sports ball, so I can't say anything. But D&D, Star Wars, I'm there. Star Trek, whoo. Uh, but definitely do some research. See what some of the bigger players are doing, and then how can we apply what we're doing at Georgia State? How can we apply what they're doing, but put our little spin on it, so that we can be as dynamic and we can be pushing innovation and creativity as well. Um, I'm touching on now the content strategy. I mentioned before external audiences and internal audiences. YouTube's great for this. External audiences is more public facing. If you got a lecture, a panel discussion, event highlights, a year in review, say you're a communicator at the College of the Arts, and you had all these amazing performances, or you did like a student showcase or an art gallery, and you're wanting to do like a highlight, definitely put that out there, you know? Think evergreen, public. Um, you want to try to avoid dating yourself if you can. Or if you do, make sure it's like a time capsule where you know that it was this year. So when people go through and are looking for information because the SEO is amazing, if they type in College of the Arts and they see, oh wow, an art gallery opening or a highlight, they can either go look for more information around that, or see that that was an amazing time and place for that event that happened there. Um, and of course, like major news announcements, anything big. Um, Internal audience are going to be a little bit of a different flavor. We're talking training videos, staff, faculty, policy updates. We did this with Allison Calhoun Brown, and I'll show you just because of transparency. I don't know if I can actually log in here. I wanted to show some folks the back end on this. Is that okay? Okay, I'm going to sign out. That's Google being Google. Also, it's good to do that because you want to I'll get into that. You want some contingencies because with a university, some people come and some people
This
go.
is the place that level.
And some people come and go. And what's worse, nothing's quite worse than if you go develop a platform, you leave, and someone's got to come in and then take an audit of it, and no one can log in to the platform. So what does that mean? You got to either recover that account or that channel, or you got to shut it down entirely and start a fresh new one. And that's not good for anybody.
This is
Go
why
ahead.
we're doing the Dropbox the way that we're doing it for all of our web pages. We're doing a PRM-web- and then your college, school, or department's name Dropbox, and we are putting. We are in charge of that ourselves here in digital strategy, so that if somebody leaves who was your main point of contact, we can still get in and add or delete more people. So when you create these YouTube channels, my recommendation would be to make it using a department email that stays here and not
Yes.
just a person's Gmail account, so that if they leave, you're out of luck.
That's right.
That would be my recommendation for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know if you have to, somebody told me that they were able to get their, I think it was student engagement. They were able to use a student engagement at gsu.edu to create a YouTube. I thought you had to use a Gmail account. Whatever. If you, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I wanted to kind of stick to content strategy real quick so I can show you just some back end, and then we'll get into that. But if I go behind the scenes here to our current content, there's some things that you can immediately see that are public and unlisted. And some are unlisted for a reason, because it could be an internal audience, or it might be a campaign that is being targeted and sent out to people. That's nothing y'all need to really worry about, but it's just context. That it still is, you're able to see it, you're able to embed it, you're able to share it, but you're not able to find it on the platform. And that's where I'm talking. Some things are going to be internal, and not everything has to be external. Here's a good example of an internal facing video. This is that FAFSA update that Allison Calhoun Brown recorded. It was, FAFSA, as we know, was a lot to be juggling with updates with people. And this is her kind of going through what we're doing as a university to help, and steps for folks to take. So it's a little bit of a how-to. It's unlisted. You can take this and embed this in a website, and you can have captions and all that good stuff. So
Give it a thumbs up.
I would give that a thumbs up. And what's great about all this is you also get fantastic data analytics, thumbnail adjustment, all this good stuff. And what I would recommend is we're not perfect, but we are trying to set something of a standard. And we're learning along the way. And as we learn along the way, we'll pass that along with y'all as well. But you can create playlists that are also unlisted. So if you've got some internal dialogue, internal things, create a playlist that's like how to yada yada. Keep that unlisted, organize whatever's on there as unlisted. You can edit on YouTube. You can see and add what you've got in there. These are like motion backgrounds for websites. Like, we'll never want people to see anything like that, but we want to be able to use it and not be found publicly. So I hope that makes sense. Let me jump back though. So we went over a little bit of external audiences, internal audiences, templatized approach. This ties into maybe what I was talking about a little bit before. Videos change now. You don't have to have an opening logo or an animation anymore. Pretty much when you're on the platform, as you can see, when you're watching a video, you know who made it. Don't beat people over the head with a brand. Please, just don't. It's not necessary. And then maybe at the end, if you want to have like oh, that's awesome. If you want to have your lockup and things like that, that's nice. That's like a nice little ending just to put your little stamp of approval on there. But it's not necessarily needed all the time, because the way in which people ingest and take in media now is so quick, and people are smart. They get it, and if they have questions, they'll ask. So that's why I mentioned in this area, it's better to have an opening hook to give people a reason to care and to watch, typically within the first 2 to 4 seconds. Like, immediately announce your intent as you're getting into something and then get into it, rather than a long explanation or a big logo opener. You don't necessarily need that anymore. And it's always good to keep in mind that when you're filming or when you're doing things, think about the look of it in terms of use our color palette, whether it's a blue shirt, a mug, a flag in the background, something to just tie it back to the university. And then thumbnail design, we don't want it to get weird. I know everybody was probably thinking, oh, I can just go in and do my own custom thing, but act like you're at a university. Make it classy, make it relevant to what it is you're showcasing. Use university approved fonts and colors, and make it look like it should belong here. Because, as I mean, if we go to home here and you can see at a glance, there's so many different kinds of thumbnails for so many different kinds of content. So be thoughtful about it when you're building it. And, I don't want to get in the business of being everybody's YouTube police, because I don't have the time or the resources to do that. So just be thoughtful. But if we do see something that's like egregious, you might get a note about it. You might say, hey, I want you to think about it. I reiterate a little bit. There you go. Renata's on it. We offer university approved thumbnail templates. Excellent. We offer, what else? We went over public videos a little bit, went over unlisted videos. YouTube is also very favorable with emails and intranet. It's helpful, especially as I know that that's an area that's growing, that you are building out, so people can stop putting so many public links online and on websites and have it be more of an intranet facing things. Best practices for video management. Make sure that your titles are to the point and clear. We incorporate Georgia State in there. Welcome to Georgia State. Homecoming 2024 Georgia State University. Just at a glance, so that you can see who's making it. And that's clear. Make sure your description is short, relevant to the content, and also is able to drive people to something. So when they're watching the video and they might want to learn some more information, let's use this one as an example. There's a short description. There's also a URL. Because at the end of the day, every single, let's use YouTube, any channel you're developing for, the goal is to route us all back to come home to Georgia State. right? So you want to be thoughtful about your description, your URLs that you're sharing with people, and the tags and hashtags. So we've got some standards here that the social team has developed. If you're in a particular campaign, which I don't think a lot of y'all need to worry about, that'd be dictated on. But if you're doing, say, research, cause of the arts, things like that, also be thinking and thoughtful about the hashtags that might grab people in, that might be searching YouTube for top art classes Atlanta. Do hashtag Atlanta, hashtag ATL, hashtag art, hashtag design. Because what you're doing is you're setting up almost metadata on the back end to drive people to finding your content. And you can do that very easily here. Come on now. And all of this, So, and there are tools out there. I don't know if we've done any workshopping yet with I don't know, Copilot's now integrated with Office 365.
Not us. We haven't done it.
We haven't done, okay. Oh, more to come. But that is an AI tool that will maybe automate some of that, so it's not so much having to Google and pare things down. Also, closed captioning. I had a I had a funny story, and it was this video. The GSU Blue Line, the 15-second edit for social. It was Renata told me that she and Tori were looking at copy, and we're checking it, and we're like seeing, okay, this is cool, this is awesome, right? Captions are important. One, for accessibility for people who might be blind, might want to, or might be hard of hearing and need to read the text. We want to make sure that we're accommodating people with disabilities. So we want to make sure that our captions are good, but we also want our captions to be accurate, because when they were watching this is 15 seconds. Georgia State has always been a catalyst for growth as we look to the future. Our strategic plan is to build vibrant and walkable spaces for our students to live, learn, work, a true college town downtown. Right? That's wonderful. Well, Renata and Tori caught it had auto captioned, "We have been a callus for growth downtown." And nothing is worse than putting all this time and energy and having the president narrate something to be interpreted as a callus instead of a catalyst. It was the worst. And I felt embarrassed and awful. But the good news is it's easy to fix. Again, just be thoughtful about what you're doing. Make sure you set the kitchen timer when you're cooking that pie so you don't burn anything. So just be thoughtful. Yeah, see, AI can do a lot, but always double check it. I touched on playlist a little bit. It's good to, curate it like your DJ mixing. Just make sure it aligns with the university and what your particular area is uniquely doing. If, I was using College of the Arts since if it's College of Law, you might have a lecture series or something with a particular law professor, or you might have did you know about this law? You could do a micro series with a law professor giving information. I don't know, but just be thoughtful about that. Analytics are also very good. I know that Google Dashboard is something that the digital team plays with on top of so many other dashboards. But if you go behind the scenes here, you can really get into what's doing well, what's not so much doing well, and kind of nerd out here to help inform your decisions. Because one of our big things is we want to leverage data to make strategic decisions. And if something's doing great, yes. If something's not doing great, maybe we need to think about, like, why is it not doing great? Do we need to go back to the drawing board? Some of that, scientific thinking behind it. And I also want to mention analytics are good too because as you know, there's a shelf life. There's a shelf life to content. It's like the fruit you buy at the store. You know, you're gonna buy an apple over time. You need to eat it or throw it out. And so if you've seen something that is seriously outdated or has fallen off and is no longer really relevant, just be conscious of that. Um, I touched on this a little bit. You know, if you've got questions or need us to check something, never hesitate to reach out. I know we're all busy. It's a noisy, noisy world right now. But please at least reach out because we want to be able to make sure that you're getting the support you need. So collaborating with GSU's central, our marketing team here, we're here to help you. Um, I see Andre Walker has raised their hand. Andre,
Yeah, yeah, I've got a question about like old content. So if stuff's been on the YouTube channel for a while and it just needs to be updated, is it okay to make that unlisted? Just to
yes,
okay.
yes, yes. If and that's the thing, like um, if you've got everything kind of backed up in Dropbox and you have a repository of your projects and you've got, you know, kind of like I don't have it pull. I don't want to pull up my own Dropbox here real quick, but our team, our backbone for the video photo team is Dropbox. So, and we have everything broken down per semester and year. So 2024 spring, 2024 fall. Within that, we have events and projects, and within those folders, we have a templated documents, After Effects projects, Premiere projects, images, render exports, things like that. File management's important. So I say all that and saying if you've got everything backed up there, you see that what might be online is outdated. Deleting it is forever. So, you know, you could, but unlisting it's a good first step. And then maybe at the end of the year, you can then go back through and organize your tags and seeing what's all your unlisted videos, and then have a real heart to heart with your group. Like, oh man, this highlight from 2006, like that was a different time ago. We could maybe unlist it or delete it. But what I would highly recommend doing is think with think with parachutes in mind, and think also about archiving in a unique way too. And I would definitely like reach out to see. I I know the library has adjusted special collections. There's some new people there and some updates, but Google allows you to download. You can just Google this. Google that Google. You can download everything on your YouTube channel. It will do it. It will take a few days, and then you'll get 100 zip files, but it will do it. So if you ever needed to do like an audit and get everything, or you don't have the files that you had uploaded, that those will be saved. Um,
That's really good to know. I did not know that.
no, believe me, I was like, oh man, I got this old thing from Mark Becker, president for a while ago, a little while ago. He was, you know, our last one, but there was some stuff in there that just was little dated, and we didn't have the edits because of that's just how, you know, old the channel was, and our folder structure and things have changed and things change. So think with long term and contingency in mind, and think with parachutes. Um, I'm getting now to username and password management. Um, this is the example I kind of put together because I just thought it was easier to approach and navigate. If you have a, this is where the auditing is going to come in. If you have a YouTube channel, see if you can access it. If you don't have a YouTube channel, talk to your communicator because you know, again, I don't know how many people are kind of on their own here or under an organization or a college or whatever, but talk to your college communicator or unit communicator because we don't want everybody making their own thing. And if you don't have one and need to host some videos, um, create something that is going to be easy to use and remember. And then when you do that, send me an email. I am adding it to a master spreadsheet that I'm working with the digital team on. I've got it in OneDrive. It's all there, where we're going to put the URL, the username, and the password, and collect all of that. And that's mainly because I've had in this whole process, I've found some people's YouTube channel that's severely outdated, and they can't log into it anymore. And so now we have this digital storefront that people might be going to and thinking, oh, maybe I can get some information here. And it's severely outdated. And this is key because, and a lot of people might be sleeping on YouTube, like, oh, I shouldn't invest in, I don't know, this might be just a lot to manage. It is the second most traffic site outside of Facebook each month. I think it's like 2 billion users monthly or something. We are talking, it is one of the most top engaged social media-ish platforms outside of Facebook. It's huge, and it's only getting more so. We've had the streaming wars, and with the situation going on with TikTok, and where do people put their media, and what social channels should we be, working with? Google is kind of bulletproof so far with YouTube, and they've shown that they're innovating too with YouTube Shorts, which is a little bit of a vertical media format friendly environment that is akin to TikTok's, akin to Instagram Reels. That's a good place to host your things as well. And Shorts, as I mentioned before, also embeddable online in case you wanted to do vertical video galleries or things like that. I say all this and saying we're trying to approach it with some contingency. So if you go make an email, send it to us. If you have an email that works currently, send that to us. Another thing, and I need to put an addendum on this, but if we go back to you may have seen me log in with my video PRMC GSU at a Gmail account. When you go to log into your YouTube channel, and I want to get the digital team on this. I don't know if this would be too insane. I don't want to speak for the digital team, and Cody might have an aneurysm. I don't want him to have an aneurysm about this, but what I'm talking about is you can go in here and manage settings. If I can find it real quick, hang on, YouTube. And what I mean by that is you can manage your managers, your channel managers. Hang on. Right before, let's try now. Okay, manage permissions. Right now, this is a little old school because that's my personal Gmail account. I don't like it, but that's the way it was set up a long, long time ago. What we want to do is have either us, Video PRMC, or a digital team also as a manager. So if something goes south, we can log in if we need to. Just again, I know this might seem like I'm doing it in triplicate, but if you don't do it in triplicate, it can fall through the cracks. And then you kind of up the wrong creek without a paddle. So in conclusion, I think YouTube's a great platform that we can really grow with. And if you got any questions, hit us up. That's me going over this guideline and kind of showing y'all our channel as an example. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
That was great. All questions I have been answered. That was great. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Hopefully that wasn't Novocaine to the brain for the people in the audience. Do you have any questions, concerns?
One quick thing.
Yep.
So the tags for the videos, are those set up like hashtags so they're all one word, or are they?
I would. Oh, yeah. Well, I would recommend one, resource documentation. I would create a cheat sheet in a OneDrive that's shared with your team, or a Dropbox that's shared with your team, that has your areas. And I'm using a student engagement. You've got something like the hashtags for student engagement that not only replicate the university's main hashtags, but also hashtags that are unique to your area. Have that on a cheat sheet organized by commas. And I'll say commas because they make this really easy to update. Let me just go in here and show you an example. Research through a unique lens. And tags can be useful. What you can do is enter a comma after each tag. So what you do is create a notepad, put all your hashtags separated by comma. Don't actually put a hashtag. Just have keywords like Georgia, comma, state, comma, university. Then you can just copy and paste that into everything that you're doing. And then it just makes the whole process a little bit easier. But again, going back to critical thinking, if it is a unique event or a unique speaker, or if it's a unique subject matter, definitely add a few tags that's relevant to that for that particular thing. Hillary, I saw a question. How do we pull up the chat, buddy? Did I mess up? This one right here.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just
No,
wondering
good.
if because we have a YouTube channel. It's been going for years now, but I would love just to have some time, maybe with my team, to work with you and maybe go over the whole thing to make sure we're doing things right, because there's a lot of videos on there right now.
Your channel. Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit of like a site audit, and then like a just yeah, absolutely. Happy to do that. I've been I'm working with currently. I kind of was piloting this with pardon me, Perimeter College and Rachel Briggs with student engagement. Happy to talk with y'all and set up like little sessions to take a minute and see
Yeah.
like kind of where you're at and kind of how it's structured and everything for sure.
Okay. I'll send you an email and see when we can all meet, because that would be awesome for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It might we'll try State of the Universities next week. So
Mhm.
maybe in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Yes. Happy to
Yeah,
meet.
no problem. No problem. Thank you.
Sure thing. Oh, and what's cool, y'all? YouTube's on it because it's Google. And if you haven't noticed, Gemini is now the AI thing for Google. And everybody's got one. I get it. If you pop over to Inspiration, it's already analyzed the entire channel and is go ahead and saying, hey, maybe this is some content that you should be making. Isn't that nuts? So it's really, really cool to get under the hood with it and see how it's all coming together. But if nobody has any more questions or concerns, I'll go ahead and wrap up and just make sure you edit out my phone number and passwords.
When will the AI for Google just make the videos for us?
It's I'm gonna give it maybe 2 years,
Oh, good.
dude,
Okay.
dude, because OpenAI and Sora and what they're doing now, it's kind of mind blowing. Anyway, at the end of the day, I personally feel let's keep AI as a tool for creators, not to replace the creators. That's if
Thank
we
God for
can,
car.
right? All right, y'all. This was
Jesus to Tesla take the wheel.
no, because yes. Thank you, Kiara. Thank you, and thanks for everybody and your time and all that you're doing here. Because I know it's been a lot lately, but let's have a good 2025. And if you need anything, holler. Okay.
Thank you. It was great.
Okay. I'll go ahead and cut work, and that's a wrap.